Hello and welcome to Building with Vid, our Minecraft 1.14 creative build series. Today we're going to discuss Minecraft path designs. That's right guys, Minecraft path designs. Using some 1.14 things, some normal things, some older things, and some just general things. We're going to discuss 3 different path designs. We're going to discuss some slopes and curves. And we're going to discuss how you build paths. So let's get on it, guys. There are really 4 things to think about when you build paths. Be a bit random. Use a lot of curves, you know. No path is, you know, straight. They're haphazardous. They are curved and they have elevation changes. And then use a lot of block variation. That is it. So let's look at these 3 paths first. And then we'll discuss how you can actually curve them and have fun with them. And the thing is with paths, right guys, a path is always better if it is sunken into the ground, right? So I'll show you what I mean when we build the first path. And a path is always better if it's not straight, and a path is always better if there is some elevation change in it, so it goes up and down a little bit along the path. And finally, a path is always better if there are some interesting things on the sides of the path. So for all these 3 path designs, I have a light option, and I have a wall option, and I have some sort of leaf, okay? And that is because you need lights on your paths, you need to have something to sort of contain the path, and you need to have some decorations on the side. Now with the decorations on the side, go a bit ham guys, be a bit wild and crazy, and do put some random blocks over there, you know, at the corner of the eye. That's a good idea. Let's start with this first one. I imagine this is sort of a desert path, and it goes through a sandy area, right? And how do we make a normal path in sandy area? Well, we can't really use the path block too much, because if you surround it with sand, you see it stands out far too much. So we need to be a little bit inventive here, and we're going to be by using some smooth, the smooth top here of the sandstone texture. You can use any sandstone here actually. The upside down sandstone stair, very cool, especially now in 1.14 with these new textures. Very cool path block actually. It really makes it look like, you know, cracked sand that people have walked on a lot. We're going to use some stripped birch, some stripped dark oak, some coarse dirt, and some path blocks, and then we have some fences and things like that as well. And yeah, if you want to build a path, let's say we want to go like that way, for instance, you just start by placing sort of your main block randomly in that direction. And as you will see, by the way, the sand is actually not going to be our main block here, because we imagine that we are actually in the desert, right? So you're going to be surrounded by this stuff already. So just make a little bend in it like this. There we go. That's a nice little start. Take your next block of choice. This smooth block. That's going to sort of symbolize random. You know, this path might have been covered in sandstone at one point or something like that, right? So place a little bit of that, and you can see already that you can see some sort of texture variation. The real trick is going to come now when we do the upside down stairs here. This is where you really start seeing that this is a path. I appreciate that these are a little bit expensive, by the way, as far as a path block goes, but what are you going to do? If you live in the desert, that's what you're going to have to do. And I think that one too. So here we go. Because we have sort of a continuous sandstone thing going on here, we can actually replace that one too. Your eye will actually be drawn to it, and now it starts looking like a path. Now these here, these are a little bit more worn down, so versions of these here. The slip birch is what I'm saying. So place a couple here, maybe replace 1 or 2 of these, and that's enough really. That's enough. We're gonna tie this in now with some color as well, and we have 3 colorful blocks here. We have the grass path, which sort of goes well next to these birch blocks, you might say, and just place a couple, you know. On the outskirts here really, so like this, you know, on the outskirts but not too far out, if that makes any sense. The coarse dirt, that's going to be our block for the real outside here. So the coarse dirt basically symbolizes that the path has you know, eroded down, and it's no longer really a path out there. It's like the block that is outside, and sort of makes a little nice frame for our path here, to be honest. But don't let it just, you know, don't place it in a row along the side or anything like that, because that looks too good. And then finally, the stripped dark oak. Now this is just to give you that dash of color. You do get it from the path blocks, but you can get it even more here with these. Yeah, like this maybe, a brave one there in the middle, like that. Right, so now we're having something that's quite sandstony here in the middle. That's alright. If you want to, you can break it up, of course, but I kind of like that. We could do like a coarse dirt in here, or even a path block. Although there's 2 path blocks in a row there, so let's maybe do that one. So there we go. So that's the basis of it. Now, when you do the fencing, don't just go like this, you know, that's not good. Paths have, like, they have a little bit of fencing, you know. The fencing is there to, you know, frame the path for you, not to be like a border or anything like that. You want to be able to go off the beaten path if you want to, so to speak. And so just place 2, you know, a little bit random like this. And then you go ahead and fill in with a little bit of leaves on the outside of that. And you can also go on top of the wall like that. You can go that. You can do whatever you want. You can also go just behind here like this. Whoops. Or you can leave it alone for one and then have it wrap around like that, or something like that, and all of a sudden it starts to look like a path. You wouldn't want to walk down here, wouldn't you? And just to illustrate what you can do with the lantern as well for lights on the path blocks, sorry, on the walls there, you can just go up a bit and place a little torch like that. That's our first path design. Let's go on to the second one. So for our second path design, we have kind of a cobble or a greyish path. You can have this going through a city, for instance, or you can have it go through, you know, the woods or through plains between 2 cities or something like that. But anyway, it consists of coarse dirt, gravel, clay block is a very good path block actually, cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, some prismarine thrown in here for that dash of color. It also ties in very nicely with the sea lantern that we're going to use for lights, along with the jungle trapdoors, and some mossy stone brick walls. Now for this one, this is going to be mainly a cobble path, so we want to go maybe that way. Something like that, maybe. Something like that. Now take your mossy cobble. Now I imagine if this is like a road between 2 cities or something like that, I imagine that in the middle of the path, the wagons don't really go in the middle. So you get sort of a bit of greenery in the middle here, basically. Like that. And then on the outside here, a little bit more, we go with the clay blocks, because this is where the wagons really go. You can go like that. Maybe that's a bit too much, to be honest. Let's just remove some of that. And then a little bit on the other side here, maybe not that far out. Like that, maybe. Yeah. Now you want that little dash of color, and these 2 blocks go really well together. I don't know if you see the similarity here, but they do. So trust me. So you want a little bit of prismarine, but you want it sort of inside of the clay, but outside of the mossy cobble. 1 block there, maybe. We put 1 here, and a 3rd one maybe there. And then we can go back with the clay maybe and put some more clay on the outside, like that. Yeah. Okay, so where's the gravel on that coming in? Well, this is where the road has sort of, or the path has sort of been destroyed, you know, by all the wagons. So take some of the cobble out, take some of the clay out, like that, and like that maybe. And not maybe right in the middle, but towards the center as well. Alright, let's see where we're at, just so I don't forget. Yeah, okay, so again, the coarse dirt sort of frames our path here. We can put it almost all the way around here, but not quite. And the same on the other side, of course. You just So there we go. Now we also need to stick it into the road a little bit. So we need to take somewhere here, like there, maybe here, and maybe here as well. So that it doesn't, so that it's not like a hard border. All right. So then we go with the cobbled fences again. Well, actually it's the brick fences, and we can place them quite closely maybe on this one in some places, like this. We can place one, we can place two. Actually, no, I made a gap in the same place, didn't I, on the other side? So let's do that. And that. And that, maybe. There we go. And then, yeah, this doesn't look, this looks a little bit too grassy, so we can go in with more of this coarse dirt. Of course, you can always have more coarse dirt, like that maybe. And then we want to make some sort of lamp design here. So we go up maybe 2 blocks this time, plonk the sea lantern on top, surround it with trapdoors, jungle trapdoors here, like this. It'll go very nice in our path design. And what we have left is some leafage. Let's just use oak leaves. This maybe. And then, you know, just fill in where you think it's needed, and I'm sure it will look good. And then you can always go back, you know, guys. That's the thing with paths. That's the thing with any sort of organic structure. You can always go back and, you know, maybe I don't like that one. Let's take that away, and so on and so forth. There is another benefit as well to having leaves all around the path, and that is that these lamps are not going to be enough to light up the entire path. So you can, of course, hide some jack-o'-lanterns underneath or something like that. And when you do that, guys, go down an extra block. So you will go down 2 blocks, place the jack-o'-lantern, and then a leaf block like that. And you can pretty much not see it unless you walk straight up to it. So yeah, that's the second path design. Third path design, guys. The classical brown path. It consists of path blocks, coarse dirt, brown, concrete powder, and a bit of color in the form of mossy cobble, some spruce trapdoors, spruce wood, oak fences, oak leaves, and the lantern, guys. Yeah, we gotta have the lantern. So here, the main path block is the path block. So you go around with your shovel and just sort of stake out your path, however you feel like it's needed. Maybe something like that. But then, of course, people have trampled the path. With the coarse dirt, you go in and make sure you don't have too many, you know, hard edges here. You need to have like a wavy type thing going on. And in some cases, they've trampled the dirt so much, you know, that it's become really just fine brown type sand, like this. But of course, at some point, you know, somebody placed down a couple, you know, of stone bricks, you know, mossy cobble here in this case, just to sort of mend the road a little bit and things like that. Maybe like that. We can extend it a little bit further if we want. And of course, there have been other repairs as well, guys. There's been other repairs as well, and they've been done with wood. All right, so maybe the wood is going there. See this spruce trapdoor? It looks awesome because there's a little bit of the iron or the black in it. It looks like it really belongs in this path. Not too many of these, but a couple is fine. And you can even mix in some spruce planks as well, you know. It's not a bad idea to vary the spruce textures a little bit here. Alright, so this is that path. Now let's go ahead with the fences here. We might have some fence here, 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 and here. You can choose, of course, any old fence you would prefer. But make sure it goes into the path as well a little bit. In fact, I probably did a little bit of a boo-boo over here. I should place that there, maybe place this here, and have this there, and or something like that, so that it overlaps a little bit with the path as well. And we'll do the same lamp design here. Oops, like this, and a lamp there. And we'll do another one over here, time for another lamp here. Lanterns. Love the lanterns, guys. And what did we destroy? Yeah, that was a path block. And here you can see that you probably wanted to go underneath here a little bit as well. You can, oops, you can do that. And just sort of expand it a little bit. And here now it's a little bit heavy on the coarse dirt, so we can replace some of that with path blocks. And now we need some coarse dirt over here maybe. So there we go. A little bit patchy, a little bit like that. Okay, so finally, leaves. And of course in this path design, you want quite a lot of leaves, because it's going to be through some sort of rural area, you would think, or something like that. I'm doing the same pattern over and over again, aren't I? I can't have that. Something like that. Wrap around this pole a little bit. We can even go up a lot, one more here, because the vines here have some sort of support in form of the pole for the lamps. Alright, yeah, now that looks a bit wonky. Let's put that there instead. There you go, path is completed. Okay, so remember how I said that path designs require you to have some sort of elevation changes, and this is something I see a lot of, guys, so we're going to talk a bit about it. How do you curve a road, and how do you, or a path, and how do you make proper elevation changes, okay? If you want to have more proper road, if that makes sense, so that the curve isn't just random like it is here, then what you do is the following. You go from the inside, right? So your starting point and your end point. And then you figure out a circle with Donut Studios circle generator, or what's the other one called? Eclipse, I want to say. Look it up online, guys. Minecraft circle generator. You will find it there. There will also be a link in the description to the Donut Studios one, which is the one I prefer. So you look up a circle. In this case, it's a circle that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 in its diameter. And so you just place it, a quarter of it basically. You place a quarter circle. So you find Origo here somewhere. And then you count out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1, 2, 3 in this case, because it's a 9, circle of 9. If your path is 5 blocks wide, then you need to add 2 for each block. So we had 9, 11, 13, 15, and 17. So then you look up the 17 circle generator, and you do a quarter of that one too. So that's how you do like a nice natural curve in your path. There we go. So I've got some examples here. There's this one here, and this is a much wider example. This path is 1, 2, 3, 19, and it's 5 wide, so it's 27 or something like that. You'll figure it out, guys, and it just follows the circle generator. And then of course everything that is inside of these is going to be your path or your road. Yeah, we see quite a narrow one as well. You can see it underneath this slope here. We're going to talk about slopes in a second, guys. But yeah, this is just a 3 wide road for a path. Alright, so the slopes, guys, the slopes. Now, very often I see people building things like this. Right? And they say, well, this is a curve or a slope that is also a curve. It's not, guys. It's not, okay? It looks rubbish. Please, listen, and I will explain how you do it. There's kind of a knack to this, and as you can see, these all look quite snazzy, these curvatures in the paths. They can also be used, of course, for staircases and things like that. And if you look at something a little bit more bigger scale, you can see that it looks really snazzy. And also looking or walking up them is not a problem, you know. You don't get stuck anywhere, they don't turn too fast or anything like that. So how do you make these things? Well, there's a couple of things to think about. First of all, everything we're talking about here is in increments of half a slab, okay? So think in half slabs, nothing else. No full blocks, no stairs. Okay, so figure out how many steps down you want to go, okay? So if we have our path up here, for instance, and we want to go down to here, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps in this case, right? So you need to count the bottom step as well, where the path joins the ground again, so to speak. So it's 5 steps in this case. It's easier, guys, if you have uneven number of steps, but you can also do this with an even number of steps. It's no problem. So figure out how many steps, as in half slab steps, you want to go down. Find a circle that has that many blocks in a quarter of its shape. So this goes back to what we were talking about here, right? So find a circle that has, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks in a quarter of its shape. And we can do this one here over here as well. This is bigger one here. This is if we want to go down 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 13, 14 steps. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 steps. This is the maximum descent that this inner circle can handle. Okay. I'm hoping this is clear. If it's not, guys, please leave me a comment and ask me questions. Right. Third step. Draw that shape as your inner curve. As you can see, that's that curve there. It's that curve there. And over there, all the way over there, is the inner curve as well. Right. Next step is to... and you draw that with the help of Origo. You find Origo and you draw it with the help of that. Okay. Next step, number 4, add 2 for each width of the path and draw that circle on the outside. This is what we were talking about. We had 19, 21, 23, 25 and 27. So you find the 27 circle and you draw a quarter of that. Okay, so here comes the crux. The next step is to fill the inner circle, so the inner path block you have, from top to bottom, going down each time. So we'll do this simple one here first of all. Let's just remove this stuff. So in this case we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks from this block here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be the top. And we want to go down to here. So for the inner circle, fill it in, going down half a step or 1 step as it were each time. So we follow this marker that we have out here, like that. All right. So you see how it goes down 1 for every block on the inner circle. Number 6, go to the diagonal and make it walkable. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, from Origo you will have a... Well, let's do it with these blocks instead. You will have a diagonal going straight through your intended path. And so this block here is in the diagonal, and you need to make this walkable. So you can do that. That's not quite walkable, because walking on a diagonal here like that can be tricky, right? So we probably want to extend it like that, and possibly even like that and like that. So the middle, the diagonal step, that is always, you always make it a little bit bigger than you think you need to make it, because this is where problems arise otherwise. Alright, step number 7. Step down from the top, making sure each step is walkable. Okay, so in this case it's quite simple. We only have 1 more step, so we just fill it in like that. Okay, so step number 8 is to, and you do that to the diagonal, okay? Step number 8 is to mirror or reverse the shapes from the top on the bottom half. So in this case we have this shape here, it's 3 and 2. So let's try and do that here, 3 and 2. And as you can see, these shapes are mirrors of each other, and that's actually that for this little path here. Yeah, let's build a little bit of a bigger one. Let's build this one, for instance. Let me tear it down and we'll build it. Okay, so as we counted before, this path can take 14 elevation changes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Up here is where we're at. And incidentally, this is where I'm at with that pillar as well. This represents Origo, this pillar does. And so we make the first step like this, just following what we have drawn below, or have in our heads maybe, or whatever you do in practicality, right? So then the next step is to go down along the inner curve here, going down half a step each time. And yeah, it's probably easier if you draw it on the ground first, so you probably have to do some digging. But once you get good at this, and I've done it a couple of times, you know, it sort of comes naturally. So now we're at this point here. So now we need to go down and to the left, well, to the right. And then we need to go down and down. Okay, so now we need to do another diagonal, and the easiest way to do them is like that. Another diagonal. Another diagonal. Oh. Then we just need to go straight down here. Another diagonal. Like that. Alright, so we're down, almost down to the ground now. Like that. Alright, so we can go up. Nice, no problem. Okay, find the diagonal. I've already marked it here. And so the diagonal blocks here is these three. But remember, we had this to be 14 and not 15 and not 13. So it's an even number. So what do we do with the diagonal? Well, we're going to have to sort of, yeah, improvise. It is between that height and that height anyway. So we could go and just put it on one of them. But I think we're going to try and put it on the... Oh yeah, on the top for one and on the bottom one for the others. Okay, because it's likely that the path sort of leans in towards its curve, the inner curve. Alright, so we have the diagonal sorted out. Now we need to make it walkable, and that means we need to make this height walkable and this height walkable, because we have two heights. And I reckon this is probably a way to go. Maybe not that one. Yeah, like that. And then we need to make some sort of thing on this side here as well. Maybe like that. That could be good. And so then we need to go from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom or to the top, and just sort of make each one of these steps walkable while keeping within the confines of this shape that we have. And walkable steps, they don't go on the diagonal. Okay, so this is okay, this is okay, this is not okay. Okay, so think about that. Just basically, you can probably just basically fill this in like this, and you'll probably end up with something nice. And we just keep going here. And I think I need to go out a little bit more here, like that. Yeah. And then we can remove that. And then we have a nice little ending here, like that. Okay, so that's half of it done. Now we need to mirror the other sides here. We need to ignore this height and this height. So we're starting with this one. It's just basically a snake like that. So let's go like a snake. Alright, and the next one is a snake with a little bit of a longer thing on it. And in point of fact, I can do this by heart now. You just go on like this. Oh. And you have a nice path. Now, something did happen around here. Yeah, I think in this case, going to that one and extending that one a little bit makes it look a little bit rounder. Alright, so this is the path. This is how you do it, guys. Please try it. It's hard in the beginning, but it's not that hard, and it makes everything look so much better, guys. Honestly, the diagonal paths, no more. Make them a curve. Honestly, do it. Okay, guys, that is it for this Minecraft Path Designs episode of Building with Vid. Please leave a like. Remember to go and check out the other stuff on my channel, and give me a comment. What do you think of these paths? What do you think of the curves? Is there anything you don't understand? Please let me know, and I'll try and explain it again, or in some other way, or something like that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!